What are the major mistakes in superstar Rajinikanth's life? For someone to be so hugely popular, especially in the south of India, and of course nowadays in many parts of the world as well, you can't just walk in carelessly and suddenly get victory foisted upon you. It must have taken many years of hard work, dedication, very good and sincere relationships with influential people to navigate oneself to the top. However, despite all these successes, there were also some failures or some setbacks, and we can have a look at some things maybe Superstar Rajini could have done better, and those lessons might still be pertinent in his future journey, both in films, spirituality, and politics. When Rajini was introduced in 1975, the end of the year, he came in as an outsider, not only outsider as in film industry background in terms of family and so on, but also he's from another state. He's not like a native Tamil speaker. But ironically, in Tamil Nadu, not speaking local Tamil dialect is oftentimes a plus. When people speak with a slang, which is foreign, local people get attracted to it. It sounds like in apostrophe cool to people, which I think is fine. It's always nice to hear a different take on the language you use daily. It creates some interest. So even now, if you see Bangalore people speak Tamil, or Andhra people or some northern people speak Tamil, there's always an interesting slang to it, and it's kind of pleasant oftentimes actually. Of course, everybody's happy that they're making an effort to speak another language, and the slang and the lilt is often like just a cherry on the cake. The language thing turned out not to be a setback, but actually a kind of a bonus, in fact, for him. So he had a very strong religious background even from young days, if you read up on Superstar actually, but it is not so well known at the very beginning because he sort of played bad boy characters, villain roles, and mannerisms and all that. So he started off in that vibe, so the spirituality side was not very visible. His first mistake, one would say, is that besides acting in negative characters, he maybe got too much into those roles due to overworking. He started developing bad habits despite some spiritual background from childhood, excessive cigarette smoking, drinking alcohol. Drugs we do not know, but all this led to his neurotic breakdown that required K. Balachander's help to bring him back up from the crisis that he was in. So maybe overwork plus drugs were his first major mistake, and even until recently as a Baba, there was heavy criticism of his smoking cigarettes, and of course all heroes do that. Even Vijay recently happily smoked and drank on one side while giving awards to good student performers on the other side. So what kind of example as a future politician that he's setting is the challenge there, you see. Maybe in mature societies where people can recognize more acting versus real life, it's different. But in places where a lot of people are very gullible and very influenced by cinema, the culture, especially in India, so it becomes a bigger challenge. So of course smoking, even recently he mentioned non-veg, also eating too much of meat and so on did affect him a lot, but he has corrected himself significantly in recent years, eating much more vegetarian food and living a very healthy lifestyle. That's a great example for people to emulate, because people see Rajinikanth going jogging in the morning. People see Rajinikanth being active at 73, 74 years old, and this is a big inspiration to older people on how they can lead active lifestyles. Okay, so that is one of his first major mistakes, to indulge too much in vices and drugs. And subsequently, spirituality seems to be a very interesting situation with Rajinikanth. Now, if you were to say it's a mistake, it's you can argue about it, but when he tried to go too much into spirituality, it gave him a lot of setbacks. For example, he made a few movies in fact, So the first one is in the 1980s, starts with an R. The name of his guru, Raghavendra Swamigal. So it's a Raghavendra film, and he put in a lot of effort. However, the society wasn't ready to sort of get into the picture, right? Of course, strong script helps regardless of the spiritual background of it. So the script also probably could have been even better. And these spiritual movie challenges for him and guest role challenges for him would continue until even the film Baba. Again, he tried to put his personal spiritual philosophies into a film, and the society was not ready to accept it. The situation, especially in Tamil Nadu, the south of India, is that there's a strong rebellion against anything that's deemed to be status quo. So, language wise, against Hindi, and then spirituality wise, against Hinduism. The political parties very intelligently, or you want to say cunningly, it's up to you, broke or separated the majority Hindu votes into two by introducing atheism and by insulting the Hindu faith and Hindu belief. So they made it their strategy. So now that they split the Hindu votes, they brought in a few minority votes, for example, supporting Christianity, Muslims, and so on, so that they can gain power in the south. So this is their strategy. They need a boogeyman. See, all politicians always need a boogeyman. They will find somebody, some group who is successful, make them the enemy, create hatred in the population, and put themselves as saviors, and in this way get the votes from the population based on the population's fear and hatred. Unfortunately, negative politics, but many places you can see certain populations being vilified. In the West, it's the Jews. In Asia, it's the Chinese, oftentimes, and so on. So these are the political games. So Tamil Nadu was very rebellious and feeling very unique. A youthful population, the politicians riled up the anger and emotions, and so in this kind of a scenario where people are very much against Hinduism, it's a trend, it's stylistic to be that, especially when people are younger. For him to bring a religious movie meant that he really didn't have much of a chance of those films being a success. So spirituality was never wrong, but to put his spirituality out in a population that looks down on Hinduism and have a hatred for Hinduism, and willing to accept even religion from other countries, even violent religion, it's okay, but for Hindus, even whatever little they do is looked down upon. In that climate, definitely he only stood to lose. So his spiritual movies maybe were one of his mistakes. Perhaps he could have done some small scenes in his movies that talk about spirituality. That would have been okay, but to go all out, that's probably his second major mistake. Trying to show spirituality to a population who has no interest in it. So that is the second major mistake. Subsequently, okay, before going to the other point, also you must realize that spirituality problem is still not resolved yet. Most recently, when he went to the north and met a monk and fell his feet, although it's a personal thing by Rajinikanth, he didn't give millions of rupees to the monk or get conned or anything. He just paid his respects, and it became a big issue in Tamil Nadu. The other major mistake is in terms of nepotism. He helped his daughters. His daughters did have some training in film, but they did not, go through the pain that normal directors go through, many years of suffering and all, to make a movie. That's why when the other directors make Rajini movie, it's like overall great. But with his own daughters, the projects, the latest being Lal Salam, didn't do so well. So nepotism is another one where Rajini had a big challenge, and he had difficulty to come out of it, right? And not only that, his daughters also sort of filtered certain directors and stories that reach him, which is how Pa Ranjit, who was again very much against certain practices, also spiritual beliefs of Hindus, got opportunity to get into superstar Rajinikanth's inner circle. And he made two movies which are very controversial. There are groups who say they are some of the best Rajini films. However, many feel that those films deconstructed Rajinikanth. The first Kabali had a great opening because of the anticipation, good music by Santosh Narayan, Nerupuda, and all that. However, once the people watched it, people weren't expecting a good gangster flick, something like Basha, Talapati, where the story is key. But here, after opening with the gangster vibes, Paranjit went into this emotional, searching for my girl kind of a story, but tearjerker story that put people off. So that was the first one. But the biggest controversy is actually the second movie, Kala, where many says Paranjit went out of his way to deconstruct Rajini, the hero that was built up over many years by many directors in Kollywood. If you carefully watch each of the scenes of the movie, oftentimes it will show Rajini losing in cricket, Rajini running out of the fire first, Rajini scared of his wife, Rajini beaten up by the police, and so on and so forth. And hence this was a controversy. I will continue a few other points in my next video, so stay tuned on this.